Happy Friday, everybody. It is July 2nd. I am Aaron Norris, and this is the Norris Group's Real Estate Headline Roundup in 2. First up, unemployment numbers released today. So earlier this month, we found out that the private sector added a few less jobs than we were hoping for, and this on top of the layoffs of the temporary census workers of 225,000. So the Department of Labor Bureau of Statistics reports that unemployment has gone from 9.7% down to 9.5%. However, the U6, or the under and unemployed number, has actually gone from 16.1 to 16.7, despite the drop of 652 unemployed because they've been on the list a little bit too long. So that's almost at a record that was set last year at 16.8%, which is not good because a lot of people consider the U6 number as highly correlated to upcoming defaults, so we'll keep an eye on that. That also on top of consumer confidence levels decreased this month, so not looking good, and everybody's keeping an eye out on that double dip recession everybody's been talking about. The extension of the federal first-time homebuyer tax credit is now on Obama's desk. That's hopefully going to be signed very shortly. It's said to affect 200,000 different first-time homebuyers in some stage of closing. You can't get in now, it's too late, but for those 200,000 homebuyers, hopefully they'll close by September 30th when this would now expire. Remember, California has a first-time homebuyer tax credit available, but it's already 80% done. So if you have somebody you're working with wanting to take advantage of it, have them get on it. The National Association of Realtors released their pending home sales index. It was down 30%. Somewhat expected that it was going to be bad, but not quite that bad. They'll now be looking to job creation to stabilize the market now that the first-time home buyer tax credit is now over. We'll see what goes on in the next couple of months with that. The Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act now moves from the House back to the Senate. They postponed voting on that till next week, so if you want more information, go back to previous videos as we've talked about that a lot, but more probably on that next week as well. Fannie Mae has had a very busy June and July so far. They released some new regulations about pre-modification income verification for those seeking loan mods. So starting July 15th, all servicers must verify the borrower's income, liabilities, and monthly expenses before loan modification can be offered. They're also going to have to check a recent credit report and verify monthly gross income. In addition, if a borrower becomes 60 days or more delinquent during the first 12 months of receiving a modification, they must immediately work with the borrower to pursue a short sale or deed in lieu. And then also, the GSE says that they're going to be going after those whose strategic defaults in jurisdictions that allow deficiency judgments. So getting a little bit more strict on the strategic defaulters. Also this week, Fannie Mae updates some appraisal guidelines. So in their appraisals, they're going to want to start seeing interior photos. The sources of comparables are going to be left up to the appraiser, whether they include short sale, REO, new builds. They more clearly defined HVCC and communications between the lender and appraiser, saying some of that communication is quite appropriate. They're looking a little bit more into the excessive seller concessions, which of course skew some of our comparables. They're addressing lender adjustments to appraisals via ARV methods or underwriting, so that second appraiser, which always comes in lower. And then of course they're addressing whether appraisers have experience with local knowledge and just their overall experience. Now some of this is really vague in their report, and I don't know who's actually going to be looking into this, but you can read the entire report. I posted the link if you're reading this on our blog. If you're watching the video on our blog, we always post all the links to the stories that we're covering right underneath the video. So if you haven't checked out the blog, it's really good. In a report put out by Radar Logic, the government agencies hold 46% of REO inventory. Not shocking since they've been very busy loaning in the last few years. They estimate that 3.1 million homes is in the federal government's REO inventory and headed to have a lot more. And in our final story of this July 4th weekend, Disney goes residential. If you're one of the lucky few, you can own a $1.5 to $8 million vacation home on its Florida property, 900 acres in this Golden Oak development. They're expecting 450 homes and a hotel. The rumor is, though, you can probably get a condo for much cheaper. Just saying. That rounds up the news. Upcoming events, July 12th. I actually misquoted in a few past videos. July 12th, when Bruce is going to be on panel at Agent Reboot up in San Francisco. That's with the California Association of Realtors and Inman News. July 21st, he'll be at the Women's Invest Club doing 7 characteristics of a great real estate investor. And July 28th, he'll be at the Investors Workshops doing emerging trends for 2010 with a very special interview by our friend Sean Watkins, who also happens to be having a very good class on a title class coming up in the next couple weeks, so definitely check out investorsworkshops.com. I think my dad's going to that one. Of course, our next upcoming event is the Advanced Investing Skills and Strategies for Quadrant 2.5. That's Sunday, August 15th in Anaheim. Look for the Jumping Fish on the website to sign up for that. It's a limited room and early bird pricing up until, I believe it's the 8th of August. For the second week in a row, we've got Nancy West of HUD on the radio show. The following week, it looks like we're going to have Tony Alvarez talking about his new book coming up that he's releasing. For more information about any of our upcoming events or hard money, you can check out thenorrisgroup.com. Or if you're looking to do a little investing and don't want to be so busy trying to run around being a real estate investor, there's always the trust deeds. You can check that out at tngtrustdeeds.com. Have a safe and happy 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.